Hello, Niall Shearer, Drummond Golf. Now, I get asked all the time about bounce on wedges and what it means. So I'm going to try and give you a brief explanation as to the difference between bounces and what it means to you as a golfer. The bounce is essentially how much of the sole of the club sticks out on the bottom from the leading edge. Now, without getting too complex, you can see there's a lot of club. That means there's a lot of bounce. As opposed to the tailor-made, you can see there very little club on the bottom, which means there's very little bounce. Now, bounce means how much the club is going to bounce off the ground. So a high bounce means it's going to bounce and it's not going to dig. Low bounce means there's a good chance that it's going to bite after contact with the ball. Now, generally, you want the bounce fairly high with a sand wedge or a 56-degree traditional wedge. Now, we've got a Callaway X-Series Jaws wedge with a 16-degree, which is very high, and again we've got the Cleveland CG15. Now, they're both 14 and 16 degrees. Now, that's a lot of bounce, so that means that when you make contact with the sand, it's going to bounce off the sand, so it's not going to dig, and you're not going to go too deep into the ground and hopefully get the ball out of the sand with minimal contact. And now we've got the two low bounce options. Now, I've got the Titleist Vokey wedge, spin milled, and I've got the TaylorMade Z wedge again. Now, you can see here they're both very, very low bounce. There's not a lot of club underneath from the leading edge, should I say. And that's a 4-degree bounce, which is very low, and this is a 6-degree. Now, these are ideal for lob wedges because generally you'll use these in and around tight lies, which means that you're going to have to get some contact through the ground. If you had a high bounce on a lob wedge, so if you put that 15 or 16-degree bounce, the chances are you're not going to get a lot of contact and you could end up thinning the shot, and that means you're going to catch a low runner, and obviously you don't want that in and around the green. Now, that's bounces.
There you go, if you didn't know.